Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep into the Premier League action from this past week.
That's right. We've got 10 matches to get through, covering Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yep, the full schedule. And our mission really is to look beyond just the scores. We want to pull out the key moments, maybe some tactical insights, surprising results.
Exactly. Get into the stories behind the games. It was quite a week, wasn't it? Lots of drama.
Definitely felt like it. So let's kick things off with Friday night. Manchester City versus Wolverhampton. City got the win 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0. Sounds tight, and the reports suggest it was. City, had loads of possession, especially first half.
But struggled to break Wolves down.
Wolves were apparently very compact, very disciplined defensively. Made it tough for City.
So how did City find the breakthrough then? Not their usual flowing move.
No, interestingly, it came from a set piece in the second half. De Bruyne cross, Ruben Dias header.
Ah, okay. So grinding out a result.
Exactly. It kind of shows their championship quality, doesn't it? Finding ways to win even when things aren't clicking perfectly. And their defense held up, too, when Wolves pushed back later on.
That defensive solidity is often overlooked with City, but it's crucial. Okay, moving on to Saturday. A full slate of games. Let's start with Aston Villa 1, Fulham 0.
Another tight one. Another 1-0. This felt a bit different, though. Reports suggest Villa's win was built more on their own tactical discipline.
How so?
Well, it was cagey early on. Not many clear chances either way. Villa got the goal early in the second half. McGinn setting up Watkins.
Nice combination. And then Villa held on.
Pretty much. Their defense, marshaled by Mings, apparently, kept Fulham out, secured the clean sheet.
So Fulham couldn't really make inroads?
Seems like it. Villa's structure maybe just nullified them. A disciplined win for Villa, capitalizing on that key moment.
Right. Saturday also gave us Everton 2, Ipswich Town 2. A bit more action in that one.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like a proper back-and-forth game. Thrilling stuff.
End to end, you mean?
Totally. Everton took the lead, Calvert-Lewin. But Ipswich hit back almost straight away through Chaplin.
Wow, quick response. And the second half.
Same pattern, pretty much. Keane put Everton ahead again, this time with a header. But then Wes Burns scored a stunner for Ipswich, long-range effort, apparently.
So 2-2 it finished. Everton must be kicking themselves, leading twice at home.
Yeah, you'd think so. Maybe points to some defensive issues. But credit to Ipswich, seriously. Coming back twice like that shows real character.
Absolutely. Highlights that fighting spirit and maybe just the sheer unpredictability of football sometimes.
Definitely. Those moments of quality, like the Burns goal, can just change everything.
Okay, still on Saturday, Leicester City had a perhaps more straightforward time. They beat Southampton 2-0.
Yeah, this sounded like a more controlled performance from Leicester. Solid win.
How did the goals come?
First one was a Johnny Evans header from a corner, and the second came later, Vardy doing what Vardy does, clinical finish after a through ball.
Classic Vardy. And defensively solid, too.
Reports mentioned Fofana and Soyuncu keeping things tight at the back. Clean sheet. Just a really professional job controlling the game.
Seems like Southampton maybe lacked a bit of a cutting edge.
Yeah, that's the takeaway. Leicester showed their quality at both ends. Southampton maybe need a bit more creativity against these organized sides.
Right now, for maybe the biggest surprise of Saturday, Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 2 at the Emirates.
Huge result.
Yeah.
Really underlines the anyone can beat anyone thing in this league.
So what happened there? Did Bournemouth catch them cold?
Sounds like it. Solanke scored early for Bournemouth, apparently capitalizing on a defensive mistake from Arsenal.
Okay, but Arsenal got back into it.
Yeah, Saka scored. Nice team move, apparently. And you probably expect Arsenal to push on from there, right? At home.
You would, yeah. But Bournemouth found a winner.
They did, late in the second half. Philip Billing with what sounds like an incredible long-range strike.
Wow. A stunner to win it. Tough one for Arsenal. Defensive lapse early, then couldn't find the winner and got hit late on.
Exactly. Shows that you can't switch off for a second. Massive, massive win for Bournemouth, though. Shows resilience, clinical finishing, great game plan, executed perfectly.
Definitely raises questions about Arsenal's consistency, maybe. Okay, let's move to Sunday and buckle up for this one. Brentford 4, Manchester United 3.
Just, wow. What a game that must have been to watch. A 7-goal thriller.
Incredible scoreline. How did it all unfold? Sounds like chaos.
Pretty much. First half was apparently fireworks. Tony scored for Brentford, then United hit back quickly with Fernandes and Rashford. Back and forth.
So United were leading at halftime.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
2-1, maybe? But the second half, Brentford came out flying. Mbomo equalized, then Wissa put them ahead.
Brentford turned it around, but United responded.
Yeah, Sancho made it 3-3. But then, Ivan Toney again, late on, grabs the winner for Brentford, his second.
Unbelievable stuff. Great entertainment, I guess, but Man United conceding 4 goals? That's a big worry for them.
Oh, absolutely. The analysis will be all over their defensive vulnerabilities. Brentford clearly knew how to exploit them. Great attacking display from Brentford, though. Fearless.
You have to admire Brentford's approach. Okay, also on Sunday, the London Derby. West Ham won, Tottenham won.
Yeah, a draw there.
Yeah.
Probably reflected the game, maybe.
Yeah.
Evenly matched.
How did the goals go in this one?
Tottenham struck first. First half, typical counterattack. Harry Kane finished it off.
Predictable source. But West Ham fought back.
They did, yeah. Second half, Michail Antonio got the equalizer, a header from a corner.
Sounds about right for him, too. So, a point apiece, West Ham probably happier.
You'd think so, coming from behind in a derby. Tottenham might feel they should have held on, maybe created more to kill the game off. Shows how competitive these derbies are.
Definitely. Okay, another Sunday draw. Brighton won, Newcastle won. This sounds like an interesting tactical battle.
It does, yeah. A real contrast in styles, probably.
Right.
Newcastle got the lead first half. Callum Wilson, again, on the counterattack.
Newcastle effective on the break. Brighton had lots of the ball, I assume.
Oh, yeah. Dominated possession, apparently.
Oh.
But struggled to break Newcastle down for a long time.
Until
Leandro Trossard popped up with something special. A strike from outside the box in the second half. Okay. Sounded like a great goal.
So Brighton's possession finally paid off with a moment of magic, but maybe they'll feel they should have created more clear chances.
Probably.
Yeah.
And Newcastle will be happy with a point away from home, showing their defensive organization and that counterattacking threat. It's a good example of different approaches canceling each other out.
Fascinating stuff. Right, the late game on Sunday then. Chelsea 3, Liverpool 1. A big win for Chelsea.
Yeah, a really commanding performance by the sounds of it. Stood out this weekend.
Talk us through it. Chelsea started fast.
Yep. Raheem Sterling put them ahead early. Swift attack. Liverpool did manage to equalize, though Salah pouncing on a defensive mistake.
Okay, so level for a bit, but Chelsea took control.
Absolutely. Yeah. Second half, they seemed to step it up. Kai Havertz scored with a header, and then Mason Mount added a third with a solo run.
Impressive. And defensively sound after that.
Yeah, Thiago Silva, mentioned as being key in keeping Liverpool out, just looked like a really strong, balanced performance from Chelsea. Attacking depth, clinical finishing, solid at the back.
Liverpool, on the other hand, sounds like inconsistency and maybe some defensive issues crept in again.
That seems to be the analysis, yeah. A bit concerning for them, perhaps. Chelsea just looked sharper and exploited those weaknesses.
Okay, that wraps up a busy Sunday. Finally, Monday Night Football. Crystal Palace won, Nottingham Forest won.
Another draw to finish the week. A hard-fought point for both sides, it seems.
How did this one play out?
Pretty close contest overall. Forest actually took the lead. Brennan Johnson finished off a counterattack.
Forest dangerous on the break, too. Palace response.
Came in the second half. Wilfried Zaha, who else, with a header from a corner kick?
Zaha delivering again. So 1-1. Any late chances?
Sounds like both teams pushed for a winner near the end, but, keepers made saves, defenses held firm. A draw felt about right.
So Palace showed good character to come back. Forest probably happy with the point and their defensive effort away from home.
Yeah, another example of that competitive balance across the league. Tight margins.
Okay, so looking back across all 10 games, wow, what a week. We saw quite a few really tight contests, didn't we?
Definitely. Lots of 1-0s, lots of draws. But then punctuated by that crazy Brentford United game and some real upsets, like Arsenal losing at home.
Yeah, that Arsenal result really stands out. It felt like a week where, grinding out results, defensive strength, and taking your moments was absolutely key for a lot of teams.
Couldn't agree more. We saw goals from set pieces, from counterattacks, moments of individual brilliance. It just highlights the variety of ways teams can win or indeed draw points in this league. So unpredictable.
It really is. Which leads to, I guess, a final thought for you listening. When you look at all these results together, the close games, the surprises, the goal fests, what does this week actually tell us about the Premier League this season? Is it more competitive, more unpredictable than ever?
That's a great question. And maybe, following on from that, think about specific teams. Whose trajectory, whose momentum do you feel has genuinely shifted, either up or down, based purely on what happened in this single round of matches?
Loads to think about there. A fascinating week of football. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Cheers. See you next time.